I still can't even believe that it happened, that we got to see Spider-Man 2 gameplay earlier. My goodness. But of course, we didn't just get a lengthy 10-minute demo showing off both Peter in the symbiote suit and Miles and his new abilities. We also got a PlayStation blog that breaks down a ton of new information about gameplay and so much more. But before we get into that, if that gameplay got you excited, if you're just dying to get your hands on this game, come the fall of this year, I need you to hit that thumbs up button right now and get this video to 5,000 likes. And I promise you guys, I pinky swear on it, okay, I am gonna be your #1 source for all things Marvel Spider-Man related. If you want to know anything about this game, I got you. We went on a 1.5 year journey together since the game was revealed at the last PlayStation showcase, and we waited that long to finally see everything we saw today, and my goodness, was it worth it. And there's going to be so much more coming over the next couple of months. So if you don't want to miss a thing, subscribe to the channel, turn on those notifications to be notified immediately when a video goes live. With that being said, let's jump into all the news I got for you guys now. Right away, right when that PlayStation showcase had ended and that gameplay went online in 4K, we got a PlayStation blog put up online by the senior community manager at Insomniac Games, Aaron Jason Espinoza. I'm just going to go over some key stuff that I wanted to talk about with you. So Aaron starts things off here in this PlayStation showcase mentioning setting the stage for our gameplay reveal. Kraven's Hunters, a new enemy faction, are in pursuit of Dr. Connors, aka the Lizard, and Peter needs to stop him. We kick things off at Connor's home across the East River in Queens, one of the all-new playable and explorable boroughs we're introducing in Marvel's Spider-Man 2. So of course, that was one of the very exciting parts of the gameplay reveal. We found out, yes, Queens is going to be explorable in this game, and now I wonder, is that just going to be an expanded area on top of the pre-existing open world that we already got from the last game? And at first in my head, I thought that they were all rallying up at Peter's house, but it turns out it's actually Dr. Curt Connors' home as Kraven is trying to track down the Lizard. And I'm sure given the history that Peter has with Dr. Curt Connors in the past from before the events of the first game, he wants to protect him. He doesn't want Kraven to kill him. And well, he's got a symbiote now, and he's gonna make sure he uses it to the fullest extent to make sure that he stops these Kraven hunters. But it was interesting. We got to see plenty of new enemy types from this Kraven faction. I mean, at one point, Peter got attacked by like a robot dog. So I wonder what different types of enemies we're gonna face off against, specifically from Kraven's faction. But then of course, later on, the PlayStation blog makes note of the symbiote suit. And one of the most important things that they mention is that they want to do the story justice. They really want to make sure that both in look and gameplay that they do the symbiote suit right. Aaron mentions in the PlayStation blog, beyond serving looks, our symbiote bound hero has some new tricks up his sleeve. We're no stranger to Spider-Man knocking heads, but never like this. He's much more aggressive and punches certainly aren't being pulled. Symbiote tendrils aggrandize Spider-Man's silhouette, slamming foes against hard surfaces, dealing no mercy to Kraven's hunters. My advice, get cozy with the L1 button because you're gonna love it. And hey, if you remember, the key to using all of Miles' Venom powers in Spider-Man Miles Morales was that L1 button. So they're utilizing it once again in this game, and it looks like there's even a wheel of different special attacks that you can use for Peter's symbiote and as well in Miles' gameplay. We got even more gameplay details though in the PlayStation blog regarding Peter's gameplay. The super popular suit can strike fear in almost anyone who comes face to face with it, but Kraven isn't just anyone, and his highly trained hunters aren't afraid of a brawl. Fret not. New combat abilities can neutralize our new headstrong opponents with a little finesse, strike back with aggressive parries to gain the upper hand, or cast a web to shunt enemies between a hard place and a harder place. You can also activate a classic dodge to get out of danger, but don't get too comfortable. Some attacks can't simply be dodged and will require a parry to properly evade them. This is amazing. This is everything I could have dreamed of about taking it a step further with the combat from the Spider-Man games. Because I already loved what they did in the 2018 Spider-Man PS4, and the way that they even stepped it up with Miles and all his new abilities in Spider-Man Miles Morales was even better. So the one thing I was hoping for was a proper counter system or a parry, and we got that now in Spider-Man 2, and I can't wait to use it. The perfect word to use here is finesse. It's that extra bit of oomph that you want to keep that combo going and making sure that you're parrying properly, dodging properly, and doing everything the way that you should be. And one of the really cool parts of that gameplay demo that we got during the PlayStation showcase was the moment where we actually got to see you have a button press to switch between Peter to then Miles, which is all the way across the city. And I don't know if it's going to be as instantaneous in the actual game as it was in that gameplay demo, but if so, holy smokes, Insomniac is not playing around here. They are taking full advantage of the PS5. Speaking of which, the PlayStation Showcase mentions here, first, get a glimpse at the near instant switching between both our playable Spider-Man. And if that wasn't enough, traversal gets a significant speed boost in Marvel's Spider-Man 2. Cue the web wings, which can be deployed by either Spider-Man to move about the city swiftly and urgently. Use wind tunnels between skylines to move with haste and behold the capabilities of the PS5 console's SSDs as you soar above the concrete jungle, zipping past all manner of cars, buildings, and people, and pigeons. If you thought traversal in the first two games was exhilarating, just wait until you experience it firsthand in Marvel's Spider-Man 2. Oh yeah! I wish I could find the clip. I don't know if it was in a stream or in a past video, but I always wondered if they would do something like the web wings, especially after we saw that in that final swing from Spider-Man Far From Home. And I just thought for gameplay and the fun of it all, it would be so cool if you're going down a skyscraper and instead of hitting that swing at the last second, you pull out the web wings and just glide across. How cool is that? It's great too that this is available for both the Spider-Man, so depending on who you want to play as, if we get the option to choose after like we beat the game or something, you can just have that traversal option available. It was mentioned in the PlayStation blog, I already love the free roaming in Spider-Man and Spider-Man Miles Morales. I mean, I can jump into Miles Morales anytime, any day, and just free roam around for 2 hours, no problem, and have fun. Spider-Man 2 is just gonna take that and dial it up to 60. I'm so excited. But of course, as we got further into that gameplay demo, we actually got a quick glimpse at some of the stealth mechanics that are gonna be introduced here in Marvel Spider-Man 2. The PlayStation blog here mentions, in Marvel Spider-Man fashion, players can approach encounters with stealth or fists of fury, or both. Regardless of your approach, there are new gadgets and abilities that complement different playstyles. One of the new gadgets we're excited about is the web line, a new way to sneak around the environment to get the drop on enemies, cast a line over a couple of hunters, and watch as Spider-Man performs a dual takedown of Marvel Spider-Man first. That's right, now finally in stealth, if two enemies are close enough to each other, you can actually do a dual takedown, and I'm really glad about that. But also, the web line, I believe, you can correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, was actually an unused gadget that was supposed to be available in the first Spider-Man game. And I like too that this gadget just works as a Spider-Man thing to do. He would absolutely be making a bunch of web lines above people if you wanted to go for stealth tactics. But of course, after we got a look at that new gadget and a little bit of a glimpse at stealth in Marvel Spider-Man 2, we also got a nice little deep dive into the new things that Miles can do. And dude, this guy is OP. They said here in the article, like his mentor before him, Miles Morales also has some new abilities and gadgets at his disposal. On the gadget front, we showed off the Web Grabber, a new gadget that pulls enemies together to an isolated spot. This allows Miles to chain one of his new abilities, the Thunderburst, unleashing an electrifying ground pound against a group of foes. You also saw a glimpse of the Chain Lightning ability, which has a shocking radius of effect on any nearby enemies. And yeah, Miles is on his Palpatine in this game, the way he's shooting out electricity. The one thing I'm wondering though is how the electricity is blue this time around and why it was yellow in the reveal trailer. Like, does Miles still have all the base abilities that you might remember from his own game on top of all these new abilities, or are all these new abilities the new Miles? Because he absorbed the new form at the end of Marvel Spider-Man Miles Morales, and maybe that's why the electricity is blue, but it still begs the question as to why it was partially yellow at one point in the reveal trailer. I guess we'll have to find out, but if you wanted to know regarding skill trees, the PlayStation blog has also got you covered on that front. Between Peter's new symbiote abilities and Miles' newfound blue bioelectric powers, each Spider-Man has their own unique set of skills that can be upgraded via all new individual skill trees. Our heroes share technology and train together too, so we also included a shared skill tree that offers parallel upgrades for both of them. Absolute stroke of genius there. We're gonna have individual skill trees for both the Spider-Man that are specific to the new abilities that each of them have, but there's also just base upgrades that you can apply to them both. I'm sure that's going to apply to general things like, you know, Spider-Man takes less damage from incoming melee hits or takes less damage from incoming gunshots, like that sort of stuff. The question now becomes, how does it work with your skill points? Are you going to get Peter skill points and then Miles skill points and then skill points for both, or how does any of that work? But the final thing that I wanted to go over from the PlayStation blog regards all the PlayStation hardware fanciness that they're going to be throwing in there for this game. It says here, as Miles tracks Lizard through the fish market, our environments are sure to activate your spidey senses. Our world is richer, denser, and packed with details from particles to improved textures. Lighting also gets an upgrade, casting more dramatic shadows and reflections along walls and pipes. Meanwhile, spatial 3D audio creates unique soundscapes all around you. Further, we're upping the immersion in Marvel Spider-Man 2 with our signature use of the DualSense wireless controller, including a range of haptics and spectacular use of adaptive triggers. Whether you're sneaking through the interiors or exploring our city streets, Marvel's New York is brought to life in ways only possible on the PlayStation 5 console. Does that ever get me hyped? They did a good job in Miles Morales of utilizing the haptic feedback and somewhat utilizing the adaptive triggers. And again, Spider-Man 2 was built from the ground up for the PlayStation 5, and it's been built from the ground up for a while now. So I wonder how they're going to fully take advantage of this console, and I'm very excited to feel it in my hands. The only unfortunate thing is that we didn't get an actual release date, and I was almost positive that we were going to with the reveal of gameplay. And for them to have as extensive of a gameplay demo, I was still very sure. We didn't get the release date, but it's okay. Do not panic. It mentioned in the PlayStation blog that they're still on track for fall 2023. They're probably just waiting to nail a specific date once they know that they're ready to go. There's going to be tons of updates coming our way in the coming months, and I'm just very excited to be bringing you guys all the coverage. And with that being said, now I kick it to you guys. Sound off with your thoughts in the comment section below. Out of all the things we saw from that gameplay demo, what got you the most excited? It's got to be Symbiote Peter for me. The suit looks so sick, the powers look even crazier, and Yuri's doing an amazing job with the voice work, making Peter sound more menacing than he ever has. You can really feel the tension, and things are going to come to a head once we get our hands on the game this fall. But anyway, sound off with your thoughts in the comments. Like this video if you enjoyed. I've been Caboose, and I'll see you guys later.